I then have the most painstaking 10 minutes of my life. Levi is walking around in circles in the grass in the front yard saying, God, please don't let my daddy be dead. Please don't let my daddy be dead. Eliana is crying, and I am trying with everything in me to believe that he's still alive and that he's going to make it. And I'm actually pacing in the driveway, waiting for the undersheriff to get there. And he slides around the corner. He opens the door, he slides out of the car, and he's just absolutely broken. The sorrow and the pain is evident in his eyes. And he said, Rachel, we did everything we could to save him, and he didn't make it. My name is Rachael Flick, and this is the story of my husband, Micah Flick. The day that Micah died was a very normal Monday. It was the Monday after the Super Bowl. We'd hosted people in our home and had a big party. It was actually a really lovely day together. I can tell that there was some kind of inclination, whether that was from God, that something was coming. He was incredibly focused on us for the 5 days before he died, taking the kids to gymnastics meet, wanting to go out on a date together, being exceptionally kind. He wasn't a PDA guy, but he was holding my hand at the Super Bowl party, you know, and just really being intentional, even asking the night before he passed if I would just lay with him and hold him in bed. And I'm so grateful that I made time to do that because it was our last night together. That Monday morning, he wakes up at 6 a.m. He gets ready to go to a task force called Beat Auto Theft through law enforcement. And they had a suspect that they were surveilling. And this was something they did every Monday, was work on auto theft and property crime on a team that was multidisciplinary through the state. And they would do a lot of research on these people. They would follow them for a long time. And then when they felt like they had a safe opportunity, they would go and arrest them someplace in public, you know, a surprise to that person who had stolen the vehicle. And so Micah and his team of 10 people approach Manuel Zatina, and they don't know that he's armed. They don't know that he is high on meth, so he has extraordinary strength that they're not expecting. And Micah's partner, Scott Stone, goes to arrest Zatina, and Zatina slips his grasp. He pulls a gun from his hoodie pocket and immediately shoots Scott in the hip. He goes to execute Scott, and Micah grabs the gun and is wrestling him for the gun, and in that wrestling he takes a bullet in the neck, maybe an inch or two above his vest, and began to bleed out very quickly. The people on the scene said, even as they were performing CPR, that they saw the life leave his eyes. And so that comforts me to know that he didn't suffer, that it wasn't a long, scary experience for him. So I am living the suburban mom life. I'm picking my kids up from school. I'm getting my daughter ready for ballet. I'm involved in ministry at this time, and I'm also talking to a friend who's recently had a miscarriage. I mean, if you can just imagine, life was like rolling on full tilt in that hour. And because she's telling me about this traumatic experience for her, she's crying on the phone. I was, shimmying my daughter into her tights for ballet and listening, and I start to miss phone calls. But I don't want to interrupt her because she's having this time to share her heart. But after I missed 6, 7, 8 calls, I was like, friend, I'm so sorry, but I'm missing calls and I need to see what's going on. And as I switch over, it's Micah's mom, and she's frantic. And she says that I have to get to the hospital, that Micah's been shot. And I was very much in self-preservation mode at that time, thinking, one of his nicknames was Mr. Officer Safety, and always expected the highest levels of excellence from his team. And he always wore his vest and did everything above and beyond, double, triple checking for safety measures. And so I thought, it's okay, like he probably got shot in the vest or he got shot in a limb, and he'll go to the hospital and we'll have, a night of him being in surgery, and we'll keep vigil by his bedside. And something in me is just like, I have no idea what's coming. I have no idea how to navigate this. And kind of felt like I was being sucked into this undertow of an entirely new world and an experience that I didn't know how to navigate. And it's funny, I look back and I'm like, why did I feel like that was the most important thing, was like how to navigate this? Like, why not think, what do I think about this? Or how do I feel about this? But I was looking for some kind of a guide. And it's so interesting because that day I had waited to watch the episode of This Is Us with the fire when Jack dies. And it's that day that Rebecca had told the triplets that their dad had died. And I love that show because I feel like it so authentically represents a lot of relationships. And I watch her, 6 hours earlier go through what this looks like and tell her kids. And I am clinging to that in this moment, that my kids are following in behind me. They've taken a different car to the hospital. And I put them on my lap, one on each knee, holding them close. And I said, you guys, Daddy's with Jesus. He's not here anymore. They say it takes 3 to 5 years to begin to rebuild your life after loss. And I really thought that I could fast track that. I thought that if I grieved really well and I saw therapists and I did all the right things and I read the right books, that I could skip the line. And what I've learned is that there is no fast tracking the process. Every experience, every challenge, every night that you don't sleep, every time when you cry so hard that your face swells, that all of that is rebuilding you into a new person who has deeper compassion, who has greater capacity, who loves well. And I would say around year 5, I started to feel like I could be really proud of who I was and who I had become after his loss, and that I think Micah would be proud of me and who what has had to be rebuilt or built anew in me and the kids. And we've just become kind of this little tribe where we vacation together, we hang out together, we do life together, the good and the hard. And so we're constantly navigating the developmental stages of them missing their dad, and me walking through that with them. But I think, we have more sunshine than rain. We have a lot of strength. We have a lot to offer. We have a new level of stability and confidence. And I think that we have a story that can help build hope in people who are hopeless.